Well, good morning. I'm currently just getting packed up because today we're headed down to London to do a polishing masterclass with Joseph Cheney and Sons and Sophia Madaidor. I'm really looking forward to today actually because I'm going to be learning the technique of a high polish, high shine. It's not something that I've ever been taught before. I haven't done much research into it myself either, and so it should be a good day of education. I'm actually going to be taking down these Imperial Last shoes that I got from Joseph Cheney and Sons earlier on in the year. I've actually scuffed the toe on this pair, which I'm sure I'll show you in more detail whilst we're down there, but you can see I've just somehow managed to catch those really nasty just on the edge. So hopefully we can sort these out today. We'll see if they suggest I do a high shine on these. Normally you'd do a high shine on, well, I don't know actually. You can do a high shine wherever you want, but maybe on a different style pair of shoes. But anyway, we're going to be taking these down with us and learning the art and the craft of polishing with an expert. So it should be a lovely morning. It's a very busy house today. Lydia's got breakfast with the girls. We have Ken here doing some wallpapering in the guest bedroom. And so it's all going on, but I need to make my way down to the train station. We'll be doing a little bit of content today, so I'm gonna take my camera, got the shoes loaded in the bag, grab my wallet, that'll be handy. I also picked up this charger from Amazon. It's called TNT OR. You look just here, you can see it's just labelled just there. It's not that expensive, and it's like the thinnest, lightest, smallest power bank I could find. It is an emergency charger, so it'll probably do, well, I know it does about 50%, so it's not a full charge, but it gets you out of trouble if you ever find yourself out of battery. Also, today, I am actually wearing my new fragrance by Floris. I've worn this now for probably about like 4 or 5 days, and I absolutely love the smell of it. It smells incredible. The only thing that doesn't seem to be working for me is the performance, so the duration at which it stays on my skin. Now I don't know whether that's just because I'm becoming accustomed to it or whether it's slowly fading away, but I haven't had many people say that they can smell my fragrance, which this would definitely get people saying they can smell it. It's one of those fragrances that people would be like, wow, that smells so good. Like when I put it up to people's noses, they're like, wow, that's amazing, but they don't smell it around me. So I might speak to them and see whether they have any advice or suggestions just to maybe give this a little bit more oomph. It may just be that we put a few more drops of white oud in, but I'll speak to them anyway because I can continue to buy this as a fragrance and I'd love to be able to do that. And so if I am going to do that, obviously I want it to be a high performing fragrance. And so it smells incredible, but at the moment it just isn't projecting quite as much as I'd hope. So we'll, yeah, continue working on the Floris perfume. I want it to be right. So anyway, I'm rambling. I am going to get in the car. We're going to head down to Jermyn Street, funnily enough, which is just around the corner from Floris, to Joseph Cheney's store, and we'll just take the day as it comes and see how we get on. But it's quite cold today in London. I'm actually wearing a merino wool knit, which I haven't worn knits really this year, so we're slowly coming into that time of the year. I'm also, just to keep myself warm this morning, just chucking on a necktie, which is from Anderson and Shepherd. And if I just tilt us down here, you'll see that I've got a belt on from Churches, trousers are Loro Piana, and then I've got some Crockett & Jones Boston loafers on, which are now so comfortable. I've worn them in really well. So we're all set, ready to go. We've just arrived to Jermyn Street and we are outside the Joseph Cheney store, so we're going to go meet the guys and get busy.
Yeah, exactly. You can always take it off. Absolutely.
Amazing.
Cool. Right. So should I grab your other pair and I'll sort of polish along with you? Or?
Yeah, that'd be great. And then you can sort of baby me through the steps that you would take from start to finish, and yeah, we'll just go through it like that.
Yeah. So I figured I just run it the same time and polish on that basis.
You okay with swimming? Of course. Yeah. This is Alex.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I'll sort of talk about the history and sort of aftercare and introduction to Sapphire as well.
Yeah.
But think of it as like this maybe Q&A. So any questions about the product, about polishing, machines, cleaning, history, whatever, just let me know. I'll be happy Happy to answer it, all right?
Amazing.
Cool. So yeah, grab another pair. And was that two pairs?
No, I had one pair, but
One pair, right.
your guys.
Yes, I have a pair of shoes. Yeah, I can do that. I thought you had two pairs.
No, sorry. Should have got two pairs now. Could have been polishing all the shoes up today. We are on Jermyn Street with writer Joseph Cheney and Sons, and we're just about to do a high shine polish on my pretty good condition work shoes. To be fair, we've decided that they're not that bad really.
So you're not seeing a hell of a lot.
Yes, they aren't that old either, so you'd expect them to be in quite good condition. Plus, I have got lots of TLC shoes.
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, well, today we can teach you how to do a bit of the high shining.
Yes,
general
never done it.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
All right. Well, yeah,
so
it's, as with any technique, it's all about practice, really. So don't get too disheartened because you might work out, but we'll give it a go. All right. So yeah, this is for you.
Yes.
All right, so that's this is a Joseph Cheney and Sons polishing kit that we've made in collaboration with Saphir.
Oh, cool.
So Saphir, based in Paris, they make the best shoe care in the world. We always try to keep things English made where we can, but they're there. So if you've got good quality shoes, you have to use good quality aftercare. Yes. Otherwise, it's like trying to run a Ferrari and cook. It's ain't gonna work. So yeah, I think I'll start. I'm sure you know a bit about the company already, but we'll just go through the history and also how the shoes were made. Quite interesting as well. When Church sold Prada, we were then also owned by Church for about 10 years.
And the nephews of the Church's family.
Yeah. So it was so it was the sons of the previous owners of Churches. So before Prada, so Jonathan William, their cousins. So yeah, they bought back our factory, sort of early 2000s, and then they built up the retail brand basically. So we have this wealth of knowledge and 130 odd years of history. We're all handcrafted. You're looking at about 8 to 10 weeks worth of work that go into a single pair. It can pass through up to 200 different pairs of hands through the whole process as well. So if you like, I'll take you through the sort of general manufacturing and what goes into it really. So it starts actually with those things on the wall just over there.
So these are like the stencils.
Absolutely right, yeah. So we call them pattern cuts.
Yeah.
So it's a sort of brass outline there to keep it steady. And that's what goes into a shoe.
I didn't realise the tongue had a tap like this. Is that for fixing?
Yeah, it's to keep it in place. Like oftentimes on trainers and things, as you wear them, the tongue has a really annoying tendency to slide to one side. Yeah, so on all of our shoes, they're actually attached on one side.
Yeah, I
there.
see. Yeah.
So it just stops it from moving around, and it keeps it
it
nice and neat. Yeah, absolutely. Because obviously they have to do a job, and they have to feel good, but also they have to look good.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So that's what that would be. So these are used in the first room.
Yeah.
So they split the factory into rooms. At that point, you've got these pieces of leather, and then it goes through the next room of the factory, which is the closing room.
Okay.
So highly skilled area of the factory. It's about 100 or so people on sewing machines, and they are actually sewing the pieces together. So, just taking a full brogue as an example, there's no straight lines on that shoe. So the fact that all these stitching lines here have been done guided by eye.
Wow.
There's no stencils for this. They have to get it right first time. So at that point, it comes out of the closing room and it's still flat, and then it gets lasted. So that's what this would be.
Yeah.
So lasted is the shape of the shoe. Used to be made from wood. We make them from it's a sort of plastic.
Yeah. So
because wood tends to swell.
Yeah. So you get more consistency.
Exactly right. Yeah. So the lasting of the shoe, that's when the leather is actually pulled over the shape.
And do you warm it to stretch it, or is it just
steam it?
You do
Yeah. So it's sort of steam just so the leather's more pliable,
okay.
And it gets rid of any risk of breaking or splitting.
Yeah.
And the last is what dictates obviously the shape of the shoe.
Yeah.
So the ones that you've got here, that would be what we call a chisel toe, or it's slightly longer.
Yeah.
It's got a bit more of a sort of angle at the end.
Yes.
Whereas the one here, and sort of the other classics down there, rounded toe. Yeah. There's not one that's more classic than the other. A lot of people think that chisel toes are sort of a more contemporary thing, but actually they've been around for the same amount of time. It's just personal preference, really. So it dictates the shape, but also the fit as well. So generally, rounded toes would be slightly better if you need more room in the toe box.
Your shoes are quite hybrid, aren't they?
Yeah, sort of somewhere in the middle. Yeah,
nice.
So sort of subtle
They're
chisel,
lovely.
if you will. Thank you. Yeah. First, to a strip of leather that goes around the outside, and that's. Think of it as an anchor point that holds the upper and the sole together. Yeah. This is what gives it its strength, its durability, its comfort, but also the fact you can get them repaired as well. So when the shoes go back to the factory to be repaired, they can take the whole sole off, remove this cork filler, this tasty looking cork filler, remove the wooden shank in there as well, and rebuild it essentially from scratch. You know, so you get all the benefits of a new shoe. We don't use sort of chrome tan leathers or anything like that. We use metal in the tanning process. We don't use metal shanks. They're all wooden shanks. They're much more adaptable around the foot. So we're trying to do our bit for sustainability at the same time. So that's really integral for us. So at this point, you put the sole on, and then the sole itself is stitched to this welt as well.
Cool. This is what I love about this process. Is once you've worn in a pair of shoes, or even like a jacket, once you've worn it in, it's the most comfortable garment you own. And prolonging the life of it by rebuilding or just taking care of it. You're continuing the use and the enjoyment of something that you've gone through the process of wearing.
Absolutely right. It becomes yours. You know? And as well as making shoes that we want to last for a long time in terms of quality, it comes down to the style as well. You know, like a lot of our styles, they're very classic, but we always try to do new things with them. So on your particular shoe there, the Imperial collection, the sole stitching is slightly different. So the rest of the mainline collection, you can see the stitching go into it.
So it's here, Alf. So around here, you've got the stitching that runs around the sole. That's in, on this pair, completely seamless.
So it's hidden within the sole itself. So it's an oak bark tan leather sole as opposed to vegetable tan leather sole. So this is, you know, nice and hard wearing, breathable. With the oak bark tan leather, it's buried underground in pits for about a year with oak resins, and that's what tans the leather. So it goes back to almost medieval times. It's really old school. Again, if they break it, don't fix it, right? And it makes it a very durable leather sole, and it means they can do techniques like that where they.
So how is this basically a layered effect where they stitch and then layer over the top?
So it's actually lifting up the leather itself. So what they'll do is they'll take a small knife and they'll cut just the very top layer.
You can see it's about
all the way around the outside.
2 mil.
If that, so they'll wet it and they'll cut what they call a channel around the outside. So they'll literally peel back the leather. They'll stitch into it as normal, and then they stick it back down over the top, so it completely hides the stitching within it. So that's the highest level of craftsmanship you can do, and you cannot replicate that with a machine.
So when they're cutting this, if they were to cut and then come up, pierce this, sole's done. New round 2.
Absolutely. First step to any sort of shoe care would be to remove the laces. We'll get those out of the way, and then we can work on the leather itself.
Do you keep the shoe trees in?
Yes. You might find it easier to take the laces out with the shoe trees out, but when you're polishing, you want to keep your shoe trees in, because otherwise you might sort of miss bits. These ones here are about 6 years old now.
6 years?
I wear them a lot. So they've been resold once already.
Wow.
Another good benefit of getting sort of Goodyear welted shoes is that when they go back to the factory for refurbishment, you can actually change the sole unit as well. So these used to be on a day-night sole. I actually had them changed onto a Vibram rubber sole, which is a bit more lightweight, a bit chunky, and I quite like the look of that.
They are.
Different aesthetic. So you've always got the choice within reason.
We're delaced.
Delaced.
Good job.
Let's suit up.
Let's get a suit up.
I'm going to do the same actually.
This way. I was always taught preparation over cure. Lovely job. I'm the sort of person that would serve something if they walk in. Hi, welcome. Right.
You will earn commission if you sell any shoes today as well.
Perfect, thank you. Do I also get a fine if they turn around and say, right, after that, I'm not...
there will be disciplinary action.
Right. Lovely, right. So, laces are out, shoe trees back in.
So, shoe tree is the most important piece of aftercare, really, apart from the polish you can get.
Absolutely. To hold its shape.
Hold its shape, absorb the moisture, because it will make the shoes last exponentially longer in terms of their lifespan. And when you've invested money in good shoes, you want to make sure they last for as long as possible. Absolutely. So shoe tree is very important to make sure that happens. Alright then. So, first of all, in your kit there, you'll find a sort of polishing brushes, a bit like this. So, full kit there. So there's black and grey, so you can essentially use
Okay, so would you use these on lighter shoes?
Yeah.
And
Generally
then-
speaking, sort of black and dark brown.
Yeah.
For those, just in case of any sort of wax.
Yeah,
or
amazing.
Switching over to another colour then. Yeah. Cool. So.
Do you want to this
step-
out as well?
We'll be using that in just a second. Yeah.
Okay.
So the first step is actually just to give the shoe a quick brush.
Okay.
So this will get rid of any.
And is this what sort of?
That's horsehair.
This is horse.
Yeah, 100% horsehair. So it's gonna do the job in terms of getting rid of dirt or dust and removing excess product when we get to that. But it's not going to damage the shoe in any way.
No.
And again, natural materials wherever possible. So the brushing, get rid of any surface dirt.
Does it matter? Can you just brush like this, or do you need to do circular motions?
No, you can,
Making sure you get into the creases.
Exactly right. Yeah, you want to sort of get around to the welt around the outside there, get rid of because it does sort of build up a little bit in there.
In the
dirt
welt,
and dust.
just in here.
Yeah, where the stitching is around.
And is
the
this the
outside
welt
there.
here? This.
That's the welt, absolutely. Yeah. So the Goodyear welt construction. So that was sort of early.
And the Goodyear is a
1800s.
design of that's
Goodyear was the name of the guy who invented it.
this style.
So
and
Charles,
is it one dimensional? There's only one way to do a Goodyear welt.
there are some alterations, but in terms of English-made shoes, it's really just the one. So Charles Goodyear Jr., who patented the machine,
Yeah.
his father was the tyre. So they were quite a successful family in terms of thinking up good ideas. Patented that machine back in the early 1800s. And then the rest is history, as they say, really.
Yeah.
It's also a good habit to get into. At the end of the day, if you choose to brush, you will find that any smaller scuffs or surface dust will actually come out just with a little bit of brushing. So,
Yeah. That's it. When I say I do those quick sort of like
Yeah.
2-minute things, I generally just gotta go over a shoe with this, and it's
Yeah.
amazing how much of a difference it makes.
Oh, it really does. It really does. Yeah. They affectionately call this gold dust in the Sapphire factory. It's an incredible sort of. It's a cleaner. It hydrates the shoes really nicely as well. And it cleans up a little bit as well. So this is one of the best products you can possibly have for your leather. So it's a water-based cream. It's got a ton of sort of oils in there, natural materials, natural ingredients, which is really going to help to feed the leather and give it what it needs.
Lovely.
So it does sound a bit morbid, but leather is a skin, right? So
Yeah,
you have to
yeah.
think of it almost like our own. Like if you don't clean your face, don't moisturise, it leads to problems, it leads to cracking, premature aging, and the same thing will happen with your shoe. So think of this like your moisturiser. Generally speaking, the leather will only take what it needs, you don't have to worry too much, but you can always add a little bit more.
You don't waste.
Exactly right, yeah. So we're talking, you can start with just a little dab. Yeah, perfect. So I like to start at the toe, and then just applying, not too much pressure, you just apply it in small circular motions all around the shoe. And you'll see immediately it's sort of, it gives the shoe a nice glow, I like to think of, Yeah, so it'll look kind of shiny when you first put it on. When it dries, it goes a bit more matte, and then we brush off the excess and move on to the next step.
You want me to work this around the whole of the shoe?
Whole shoe, absolutely. You can go up in the, obviously on this shoe here, this is a Derby, whereas your shoe is an Oxford.
It's all to do with this section of the shoe.
Absolutely, yeah. So a lot of people do get a bit confused by that, because sort of the Disney movies especially, they say Oxford's not brogues. The problem is a lot of brogues are Oxfords. It's all about the lacing. That's what it is. So if it's closed lacing like you've got on there, regardless of style, it's an Oxford.
Yeah.
Whereas Derbies like this, they open up at what we call the throat of the shoe. So it's slightly more casual style. And if people have a higher instep, then they're often pushed to this actual style. It gives you a little bit more space, more to get your foot around.
Oh,
the top.
interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so
Amazing. So we have now
we have renovated.
renovated our shoes.
Yeah. So you can leave that on for as long as you like, basically. So again, if it's a shoe that needs a bit more aftercare, you can put that on the night before, leave it overnight. It can only do good things for it, basically. So you'll see it should have a nice glow, as I say.
I should actually do the first shoe first.
Yeah.
Do you grip always with the left and then brush with the right, or do you alternate?
Depends what's the dominant.
And is there a right way to hold your shoe? Do you hold it like
I've
that?
got something about that. That's something I feel most comfortable
No, I
with.
normally hold like that. Is that
Yeah,
right?
that's absolutely fine.
If you
The next stage you'd look at would be a pigmented green. So much like the Renovator, it's gonna further hydrate the leather, but this stuff has got a much higher pigmentation to it. So particularly where at the front there you've got a little scuff. If you use a touch of this.
So if you were going to do a high shine, you would always make sure that this was going on first, or is it you just like it because it helps hydrate the shoes further?
Depends what the shoe needs really. Yeah. So I mean, this is sort of like the full Monty, if you will. You know,
is there a way of identifying what the shoe needs?
Yeah. So if it's faded, if it's anything to do with colour, like or any scuffs like that, then shoe cream is your friend.
Cool.
Really. If it's just a quick once over, or if you want to dress them up a little bit, then it would be wax.
So could you argue that colour and pigmentation can be achieved with this?
Yes.
And then a polish would be more to bring out the sort of polish in the shoe.
Yeah, and that's more of protection as well. So yeah, colour, pigmentation, shine and protection. Colour, pigmentation, shine and protection.
That's such a nicer way to sort of think about how to care for a shoe, because you can then physically look at it and go, well, there's actually no scuffs or discrepancies on this. It's in great
it just needs a little bit of dress up.
Absolutely. This one we're looking at it going, well, actually there's quite a lot of wear on that with the scratches.
Yeah,
we really need some.
So we need something with a strong colour in there to help cover that up. So,
but whatever you do to one shoe, always use the other.
Absolutely.
Keep
it easy for sure. Yep, perfect.
So we're just currently buffing off the cream. You can see that's just starting to shine up a little bit there on the shoe. And you could actually leave this at this stage, couldn't you?
Yep, if you're happy with the way that
if you just wanted to just quickly tidy up your shoes, you weren't looking to do anything particular with them, you didn't want that high shine that we're going to create today, you could literally just give these a good old brush. Make sure you get right the way down into those welts like that as well, because we've applied it in there and around the heels, not forgetting those areas, like I nearly did. And then you could say that is a finished product right there, but we're going to take it one step further.
Yeah, so neutral is actually really good as well for like cleaning shoes. So as we were talking about earlier, wax builder. The best product you can actually use to get rid of that any wax builder is just a bit of neutral polish. A bit of cloth, rub it.
But this can also be used as a polish.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So if you've got a shoe that you don't have a polish the colour of, this would be ideal.
It would, yeah. Not as a long-term solution, because it depends on what the shoe weighs. You can sort of make the colour a lot lighter, because you're not putting that pigment in there. But if that's what you want to achieve, you absolutely can. But yeah, it will work for any colour, absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool. So first thing we're going to do is actually grab your welt brush, which is the toothbrush colour one.
Do you use this just for welts? Makes sense. Any sort of crevices that are really difficult to get to with your fingers, you can use this brush just to make sure you get right in there, into that gap, so nothing's missed.
You certainly can use it to apply things as well. I just find that I get a lot more control when using a cloth.
Brush.
I just use this for the welts.
I like that. So we're currently using the polish here, which has got beeswax in it. So not only is this a great polisher, it's also going to be used as a kind of water membrane, a seal, just used just over here over the top of the welt, and this brush is going to help us get right in there, in that gap, as you can see, just there.
Yeah, so we're going to be looking at sort of mirror shining your shoes. So this is an optional step that you can apply to your shoes to really make them shine, if you will. Essentially, we're just going to be building up layers of wax and using water to help disperse it amongst the pores of the leather, build up a nice high shine on the toe. It would be very difficult to mirror shine a shoe that hadn't been polished properly before. Not only would it look a bit weird, but also because the leather hasn't been prepared properly, you'll be going at it for ages and it won't work. And again, this is where there's quite a lot of trial and error, there's a lot of variables involved. So what I say to anybody when I'm first showing them to mirror shine is that don't get frustrated if it doesn't work straight away, because it's a lot of it's to do with feel, how much wax to apply, how much water to apply, what kind of pressure to apply as well. So it's one of those things where once you get the hang of it, that'll be it. You can mirror shine everything. All your shoes, sofas, it's quite good. So we're going to be applying a tiny amount of wax. So for yourself,
is this just normal?
That's just our normal beeswax polish. Yeah.
Okay.
Saphir does do a product Yeah. So for yours will be just that one there. Sapphire does do a product called Mirror Gloss. Yeah. So we have got one here. It's a little bit dry, but we can certainly give it a shot. And this, as I was saying before, when the wax is dry, it's much better. With this, it's already incredibly dry. So that can happen. Yeah. But that's actually more for the good. It's not the end of the world.
Crystallised.
Yeah. And that's because there's no moisture in that whatsoever. So, and that is really going to help to build the shine. So you can use either or.
Okay.
I'll sort of show you the technique first,
Yeah,
and then you can give it a shot. So I'm going to use this. Cool. So you've got a tiny amount of polish on the cloth.
Yeah.
Bare finger there.
Bare finger. Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. Out of nowhere. And then you just apply it, literally 3 drops.
Amazing.
Just on the surface of the shoe.
Yeah. Golden gold.
Exactly right. Yeah, and then I'm literally using the weight of my hands here. I'm not pushing the leather at all.
Yeah, just allowing the gravity to play.
Exactly.
So you take the shine off until it appears.
It appears that way, so that's the wax going onto the leather. So you keep on working at it, and essentially what will happen is you'll start to feel it kind of start to drag in a way.
Oh, drag? Okay.
Yeah, you'll get a bit more resistance if
Do
you do
resist
that.
and keep on going?
So at that point you just add 1 touch, 1 drop more water.
Wow.
And that will start sort of working around it.
Fantastic.
I don't tend to mirror shine these shoes, but I think it should work out quite nicely. So you want to pay particular attention to the very front of the shoe.
Yeah.
You don't want to apply mirror shine too far up, where it creases, obviously then it will crack and it won't look very good at all. So you always want to just apply mirror shine on parts of the shoe that don't flex.
Yes.
So these toes.
So we're going to be kind of going to here.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So again, there are many ways to get to the same result. So some people will use an actual mist sprayer to apply their water. If you're in another shoe company, quite a high-end shoe company, they use champagne.
Wow.
Yeah.
So creating a higher shine here, and we're going to be doing it using just the normal polish. Just going to apply a small amount to our cloth. And we have some water down here, and then with our what finger is that? Ring finger. Is that what you call it? On the right hand.
Okay. It's the same on both.
On our right hand ring finger, we're just going to dab a little bit of water onto our finger. So we're just going to do 3 dots, like a bowling ball, and then we're just going to start to slowly, with almost no pressure, we're just allowing gravity just to work in the polish and that water. And then when we start to feel friction between the cloth and the leather, we'll apply the water again, and we'll just basically continue to repeat this step just on the toe, avoiding any of the flex areas on the shoe, because this could, if it was applied too high up, crack. So you'll see there the polish is just starting to create a more mattifying effect. Got a lovely little fly joining us for a close inspection there. We are, what do you say, 20% into our allocated polishing time, and I'd say that I've probably been polishing mine for, I don't know, a minute or 2 longer. Just want to look at the difference. Unreal. 6 years in the making.
There you go, it's practice.
So
that's all it is.
don't ever give up, because we're going to come back in another 6 minutes and we're going to see the progress. And if I can get mine anywhere like this, I'll be a happy man. You put much pressure on that?
Not really. No, I'd say it's probably, just the weight in my hand, really. Nothing more than that.
So there's obviously something very different. Okay, well I think that I've spent enough time trying to master the shine, and this is where we've got to. So Alex's shoe here on the left, and then this is mine, which still looks nice,
It does.
but hasn't achieved quite what we were going for, as you can see. So Alex is very kindly going to level these 2 out. But at least I know the theory behind the practice, and then it's
Exactly.
just practicing to get the theory
It's just
to work.
polishing shoes until it gets to where you want it to be.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Perseverance.
So it'd be interesting to see when you feel it, what you say.
Yeah, give it a shot.
I think we've been going now for about 2 minutes since I gave up my position, and I think we've made great progress. Phenomenal. Can I lace these ones up?
Of course. Yeah, once...
Get busy doing that then. Just try not to touch the toe.
But no, you certainly can. I just think because brogues are a little bit more casual traditionally, I tend not to put a shine on brogues.
Okay.
But something like this, which you can dress up as far as you want to, it really makes a big difference.
Yeah, very much so.
Well, there we have it, the final product. They are absolutely A1. How good do they look? You can tell they've been done by hand. There's a really nice soft fade into the rest of the shoe. I look forward to wearing these on their next outing. Try and take good care of them. And apparently now they're in this position, or should I say this condition, then moving forward it will become a little bit easier to maintain them. But I do need to do a little bit of work myself on trying to get them to this point from scratch, because it's definitely a technique, there's a lot of feel that needs to go into it, but really happy with how these look. I'll quickly hold one up, hopefully you get a bit of a better visual on them. And we've really helped repair that toe as well. Looks absolutely amazing. A very cool class to do. And also, if you do ever buy a pair of Cini shoes, then they'll actually take care of them for you. If you bring them in, they'll do this free of charge, and so they'll keep your shoes looking tip top. We've also done a brassiere knot as well, which I didn't know how to do before I came in today, so a nice little way to finish off the shoe. So very, very good afternoon here at Joseph Cini on Jermyn Street. We had a lovely session polishing up the shoes then, but we are currently making our way to the Luca Filoni store because I quickly need to do a couple of size checks and try on a few items for an upcoming campaign. So we go in store, try on a few tops, and then we can start thinking about making our way back home. Well, I've just arrived back from London and my wonderful wife has cooked us up an absolute storm. Look at this. What have we got on the menu this evening?
It is courgette from the kitchen garden.
Lovely.
With sourdough bread.
I think we're going to have goosey in a minute.
Yeah, from the...
I've got a feeling we're going to have a couple of goosies.
The sourdough's from Soho Farmhouse.
I know, that's so heavy. The physical weight of it.
Yeah.
Weighs a ton. Nice.
We do actually also have some potatoes left over that we could have. Potatoes and green beans that we made from the kitchen garden, so we can have that as well.
An El Carby dinner.
An extremely carby dinner, but...
Bread, risotto and potatoes.
Yeah, extremely beige and green.
Yes.
Exactly how I like it.
So funny. What's happened to the weather?
I know, it's supposed to be nice tomorrow. Well, it's supposed to be nice-ish tomorrow.
It's just all of a sudden turned on us, hasn't it?
Yeah. The chickens have started eating out of my hands.
How many of them?
Snowdrop.
Yes, I've already had Snowdrop do my hands.
Beatrix.
Oh, nice. That's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're starting to trust. Trust in us.
Yeah, they're like getting a lot better.
That's brilliant. Very good.
With us, they're slowly warming.
Yeah.
Which is lovely.
Trust takes time. Yeah, go on then. These are leftover potatoes from our Barbie. It's a very random dinner. It's very Ali Gordon.
It's a very Ali Gordon dinner, that's for sure.
Yeah. That's how we like it. Random.
Right.
Bikey just gets happy when he sees me because there's food. Oh my goodness me, any minute now he's going to deliver me something to my little chops. I'm so happy when Daddy's around because my tail doesn't start wagging. Anyway, bon appetit.